For me, one of the most interesting features about NASA is that there are 10 centers scattered across the country. And if you grow up in the neighborhoods where those centers are located, you either have a relative who works for NASA or you know somebody who works for NASA. And in every community that I have seen, that is a point of pride in those communities, if you work for NASA. And that sense of participation, of common journey, is something without which this would be an enterprise just for the few, rather than for the entire nation. There were engineers and administrators and other workers from the Apollo era who are actually still working at NASA today, some of whom are here in this room right now. And there are others who are of that era who are not the astronauts, but who know the important ways that they contributed. Because, in fact, there's this pyramid, and at the base of that pyramid are the thousands of engineers and scientists laying out the groundwork for what those moon voyages were all about. And you work your way up the pyramid, and the astronauts are at the top. They're the brave ones putting their life at risk, trusting what the rest of that pyramid provided. So I want to take this opportunity, an opportunity not often granted, to have those people who worked on the Apollo mission but who are not astronauts. If you're in this room, please stand and be recognized. Ladies and gentlemen, NASA is a force of nature. It operates on our hearts, on our minds, on the educational pipeline, all for 1/2 of 1 cent on the dollar, on the tax dollar. Remarkable how many people think NASA's budget is bigger than that. I want to start a movement where government agencies got paid the budget people think they're getting. NASA's budget would go up by a factor of 10. And that factor is a measure of the visibility of every dollar of NASA that gets spent. And that's an extraordinarily compliment that people think NASA's budget is bigger than it is. Because it builds future explorers. We know this. But not just explorers for our culture. It is something built into what it is to be human. And I wouldn't give that up for anything, lest we just stop advancing all the things that we've come to value as Americans in the 20th and 21st century. So as this evening and the program comes to a close, the entertainment actually continues. We have a Steinway grand piano sitting to my right that will soon get occupied. But before that happens, I just want to thank you for allowing me to share this night, this very special night, with all of you. Thank you all for that. It's my pleasure to introduce Grammy Award-winning pianist and entertainer. We are thrilled to have her with us tonight. Please welcome Diana Krall, who will play appropriately themed music to this evening. Diana.
So much to me. Can you hear me okay? I was 5 years old and remembering I'm from Vancouver Island, but I wanted to be an aeronautical engineer, not when I was 5, a little later on. And it didn't happen for me, but I practiced the piano more, but I loved science, and my mother bought me my first book, Carrying the Fire, when I was 13. And my confirmation day, I built a rocket ship out of some paper towel tubing and out of a kit, and put it together with my Canadian 4-wheel drive, hooked it up, sent it up, and was always interested in the space program. My dear friend Robert Thirsk is a Canadian astronaut who's in the ISS right now. He sent a message. Tonight they are celebrating with a commemorative dinner. Our present day, please tell your hosts that the station and shuttle crews are doing well. Our present day activities in space would not be possible without the heroic accomplishments of the Apollo astronauts and the inspiration they provided. I have a very lovely tattoo on my arm, Thirsk ISS, with the Canadian Thunderbird and the moon. It'll never leave my arm. I promise, Bob. So this means more to me. And my children are 2.5-year-old twin boys who had swimming lessons yesterday, and with their Buzz Lightyears, their swimming teacher said, Buzz floats in the water. And my son Frank said, Buzz doesn't float, he flies. He's a star commander. And they've been here, they've been to this beautiful place before I have. And it is my joy and my great honor to play for you fine gentlemen. It's very emotional for me. I lay awake in my hotel room last night for a very long time thinking about how often I've played these songs and how my children say to me, I can see the moon, Mummy, and how much the moon means to me in so many ways, and how much you mean to me and inspired me. And I'm an artist. I'm not a scientist. But you've inspired me. And I wish I could play some Merle Haggard for you and some Berlioz and some other things, but this is what I have to give, and I thank you so very much for inviting me here tonight. And I wear my tattoo proudly. Stars, let me see what spring is like on Jupiter and Mars. In other words, hold my hand. In other words, darling, kiss me. Fill my life with song and let me sing forevermore. You are all I long for, all I worship and adore. In other words, please be true. In other words, I love you. Fly me to the moon and let me play among the stars. Let me see what spring is like on Jupiter and Mars. In other words, hold my hand. In other words, darling, kiss me. Fill my life with song and let me sing forevermore. You are all I long for, all I worship and adore. In other words, please be true. In other words, in other words, in other words, I love you. Thank you. This is also a song I will play.